I was thinking, with this being week 2, don't laugh at me. Trying to be professional here. This is week 2 of our brand new, well, it's not brand new anymore, but newish podcast. And you're laughing at me.
Sorry.
I was trying to talk about our big showbiz extravaganza we were going to begin the show with. I was going to get us a voiceover, like the likes of Jay Leno had in the States and David Letterman. It's Sunday night. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes your entertainment. It's Chasing 40. But then I quickly realised there's a good chance with this being a podcast, you could be listening to this on a wet and windy Wednesday afternoon, maybe a miserable Friday, and me talking about Sunday is just totally irrelevant, so sort of ruined it.
Yeah, leave it there.
Anyway, good evening to you. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good morning. Whatever
Happy
you are.
lunchtime.
Yeah. Hope everything's well. It's episode 2 of Chasing 40. We need to start, by the way, with a couple of voicemails that I received through the week with regards to last week's show. And remember, if you do want to check out, if you're new to this and you want to find out exactly what we're all about and how this thing began, because it was so long ago, 1 week to be exact, you can go on iTunes now and download the previous episode, YouTube, SoundCloud. We'll get onto that a little bit later on. But as I mentioned, I had a couple of voicemails back off the back of last week's show. First one was, and it's very strange, by the way, it's from Sean Connery.
Oh,
which
really?
makes it, yeah, Sean Connery, drunk from a pub, has left me a voicemail, which I found rather random. But what he's doing is he's informing us and you listening right now of the dangers of online dating. Now, if you remember last week on the show, I've sort of put my foot in it a little bit. I was talking about a guy who I know who approached me about using Skype on a dating website.
Yes.
And I told him, don't worry about it. It's okay, it's safe to do. What I didn't realise was there was probably a little bit more to that question and he just couldn't get it out.
Oh, right.
Listen to this voicemail anyway.
Hello, this is Sean Connery phoning from a trendy London nightclub. I'd just like to call and tell you that I was listening last week with great interest when you talked about the dating app and about what people say when they ask you to use the Skype app. All I can say to you is when people use the Skype app, they are actually video recording you. So if you do anything to yourself, shall we say, they will record it and they threaten to send it to all of your social media friends. So all I can say is, don't be caught out by that, guys, like I have over and over again. Must go. I've got a Skype call coming in. Good night and good luck with Chasing 40 podcast from Sean Connery. Night-night.
First thing that worried me about that was the fact that Sean Connery had left me a voicemail because I wasn't aware we were friends up until that point. But the other thing is I would like to apologise for anyone who, off the back of my advice last week, has just been Skyping women randomly, or men, around the world and engaged in some sort of act via Skype, which may result in blackmail.
Oh, wow. Do you know what?
I didn't know that, though. I did not know that.
I have, really loose morals, and I would never have thought of that.
I really, really apologise if you were a victim of the Skype trap.
I don't know, I'm thinking there could be some money in it, though.
Maybe. Well, you're on these sites, so...
Get myself Skype, hello.
Can you pass me your log on, and then maybe we can make a little bit of money this afternoon. I had another voicemail, by the way, from Sean Connery. It gets better.
Hello, this is Sean Connery here from a trendy London nightclub. I'm a little bit more tipsy as I was before when I rang in, but I'm legally obliged to say, whenever I'm near a podcast machine, I listen to Chasing 40. It's a very, very good podcast, okay. Now, hopefully that should get me my money. And if any of you people out there are listening, why don't you go to cinema this weekend and listen and watch as you see me in action in The Untouchables? I team up with Elliot Ness and we fight evil, and it's probably one of the best films you're ever going to see, I tell you that now. So go watch The Untouchables, and when you're not there, listen to Chasing 40. Thank you. This is Sean Connery. Good night, goodbye.
Again, I'm still, at this point when I'm listening to this, in shock that Sean Connery has left me a voicemail, but I'm also thinking to myself, Sean Connery maybe is on the edge a little bit there because he seems to think it's still 1989. I think it was when that film comes out. I was half expecting at the end of that him to say, and a big shout out to my son Harrison Ford, or Dr. Jones as you may know him. So anyway, yes, that's covering off last week. If you're wondering what we're on about, by the way, about the Jewish dating websites and the Skype thing, you can check it out on episode 1. The other thing as well that we've been accused of through the week is spreading, well, mainly me, Beck.
Good,
I'm the one getting all the
pleased.
heat on this one from last week's show. By the way, nothing we said about Donald Trump was fake news. We stand by that. He's still a tit. But we did get a lot of feedback on some of the things that I'd said throughout the week, and apparently, yes, I am one of these people spreading the fake news. I'm part of this big Illuminati propaganda machine. Apparently, the Illuminati's taken over this podcast now, judging by some of the comments that I've had. So, can I get some? I think that let's get some dramatic music, because I think I ought to apologise for some of the things that I said last week. There we go. I think that'll work. So, last week on Chasing 40, there was a couple of things that I uttered, which has now been described by you, the dear listener, as fake news. One of which apparently was when I recommended that Beck was to drop the online shopping and go to stores on the high street such as Index. I've now been made aware that Index Catalogue Shop closed in the year 2005 and has now been removed from our high street. The other fake news, I've got to get back to my dramatic voice, I need to be sincere about this one. The other fake news that I apparently spread was when I referred to the Michael Bolton Valentine's Day special as being produced by the guys from Lonely Planet. It was Lonely Island. Is Lonely Planet one of them websites where...
It's like a travel thing. And I did wonder, but, you know, I thought, well, maybe they've
Why did you correct me?
Well, no, because I thought maybe they travelled to Lapland to meet Santa.
Oh.
It's anything's possible. People have to branch out and explore new avenues.
So apologies to the the website Lonely Planet, who've had a lot of queries this week about the Michael Bolton Valentine's Day special. And finally, because I'm sick of apologising, I'd also like to say sorry for spreading fake news that it was actually Kyle Jenner that wore the NWO t-shirt. Apparently, it was Kendall Jenner. So but the thing is, the whole point of that story, by the way, for all the people who got in touch with me saying, you got the wrong Jenner, you got the wrong Kardashian, I don't know who they are. It's like, I know there's loads of them. Is there a Barry Jenner? Is there a Rodney Jenner? I know there's actually, no, there isn't a Bruce Jenner anymore.
There's not a Bruce, no, that's a Caitlyn.
I've been researching the Jenners and the Kardashians this week, so I know all about it. Found a brilliant video of Kim online.
Oh,
Moving on. So that's enough. Get rid of that music now. I think we've had enough of the serious stuff. Anyway, how was your week then, Beck?
Yeah, not too bad this week. Avoided Storm Doris, thankfully. A wheelbarrow got blown over in the garden. That was quite dramatic.
What a tragedy.
But, yeah, survived that one. Had Fat Club, which is every Monday night. Feel for me, I starve myself all day Monday, then go and get weighed in front of a group of 30 women and find out that I've not lost any weight.
So is this the Weight Watchers thing, is it? Or is it called Fat Club?
No, it's Slimming World, but
Slimming
I call
World,
it Fat Club.
Yeah. So what do you do? So you have an eating plan?
Yes. So we've got a book and it tells us what we have to eat, and there's loads of it and you can eat loads, but I kind of steer away from it and think I know better.
Yeah.
And then once a week you turn up and you get weighed in front of everybody, and you kind of out yourself as having drank 5 bottles of wine and eaten 3 pizzas. So my Monday routine, I wake up, I starve myself all day because we don't get weighed until 5:30 in the afternoon, which is horrific. About 4:30, you kind of wear your knickers, and all of the items of clothing that you might possibly wear to make sure you're wearing the lightest possible thing. Take all your jewellery off, glasses off, absolutely anything that could be excess weight. Troll along there, get weighed, find out it was all just a disaster and you've not lost anything anyway. Leave, come home, order a pizza, drink 2 bottles of wine. Boom.
There's a t-shirt there, I think, isn't there? Get weighed, leave, wine, boom.
Repeat. Yeah, so that's been pretty disastrous. So I didn't even stay for the whole lecture thing that you get after because I'd done so badly. I just ran away.
Do you know what would help you? More exercise, like going out and buying things. Now, I'm not going to go on another rant about shopping and why you should save the high street. That's last week's podcast. Beck has discovered another, what is it, Amazon? Is it, because I know you've got your normal Amazon and you've got Amazon Prime. Is it like a super Prime or something?
There is. So last week when we were recording this, we were waiting for about 15 deliveries of normal Amazon Prime, which you order stuff and it arrives the next day. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I've discovered this week Amazon Prime Now. You get stuff delivered within 2 hours.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know the world is moving on. I know there's a technological revolution out there, and I will use Amazon. There are some online shopping sites that I will use. I prefer to go and try and buy stuff from a shop, but sometimes you will need stuff, and Amazon is great for electrical equipment, or if you want to get yourself, you can get anything on there for Amazon. So if you're buying something like where I had to do in the end, get a computer, that's great and all that. But this Amazon Now thing that you've discovered, tell everybody exactly what you've been buying from it this week. And this might also this might also explain why I've just said to Beck about getting some more exercise.
Well,
just list the stuff.
Okay. Well, no, my first dabble with it was to buy an indoor aerial so I could actually watch some NAF TV yesterday.
All right, that's okay.
Yeah.
Thumbs up for that one.
Excellent technical stuff that I wouldn't know where to go in the high street because Index is closed. But then
so gutted about that.
It was a lazy Friday yesterday, and it was a braless day, so stayed in slobwear all day. And I suddenly thought, do you know what? I quite fancy a little drink tonight. So I had a look in the fridge. Disaster strikes. There's no alcohol at all in this flat.
Dun dun dun.
There's no bacon for breakfast.
Oh.
And more importantly, there was no milk to make you a coffee.
Oh, well, that's the important thing.
Exactly. So I thought, I wonder. Get on my phone, get on Prime Now. Sure enough, you can buy wine, groceries, you name it, on Amazon. I ordered 2 bottles of wine, some milk and some bacon.
And it's there within 2 hours, did you say?
1.5 hours later, there's a man at my door called Fidanzo delivering it in a lovely paper bag.
Now, that's great. She sorted herself out with a food shop there. She got a wine. And, we had a hurricane. So that you would forgive her for deciding to not go outside and to use the technological advances. So that arrives in 2 hours. Beck's got a wine. What happens 2 hours later? You went back on and ordered more wine. Beck sold me right. She did it 3 times in one day. 3 times.
Well, technically, one of them there was no wine. One of them was an indoor TV aerial, I'll have you know.
Oh, okay then.
Don't judge.
I'm surprised Verdanzo, is that what his name was?
Yeah.
Hasn't done some sort of intervention for you. I'm half expecting Verdanzo to turn up with your family outside the door. And God knows if they're looking through this window now what they're thinking. By the way, we've moved our glamorous studio setting. Last week, we were broadcasting from the living room, which is the epicenter of Planet Beck, because we record it at her flat. I was going to give the destination there, but I'll describe it as parts unknown. This week, because this, by the way, as I was saying to Beck, would be the greatest chat-up line of all time, if that's what we were in here for. But I said to Beck, I'm sat there sipping a cup of coffee. I said, Beck, you know what? We're going to go, let's move into the bedroom because the acoustics are better in there.
But do you know what? You've got a point.
But I'm sat on 5 pillows at the moment. I will put a picture of this on the Twitter feed so you can check out. Beck is perched on the edge of the bed. We've got a makeshift table, and on top of the table is a Spice Girls platinum record in recognition from, is it from Virgin Records?
Yeah, it's 1 million sales of Wannabe.
Yeah, so there you go. In recognition in the United Kingdom of more than 1 million copies sold, here's a framed, and it's a framed CD, and it's a platinum disc or whatever they call it for what the record companies give out, and it was given to a radio station that we both work for. And one day when the radio station changed the name, me and Beck decided to take all the old merchandise. So we've got several discs that were presented by record companies between us. We can't get in trouble for that now, can we?
We liberated them.
Yeah, we were going in a skip anyway. So anyway, we've made a table out of a Spice Girls platinum disc.
Gets more rock and roll every week, doesn't it?
It shows how relevant they are. Are you talking about relevance? Staying relevant, which is the title of this week's episode. That's been the key for me this week. And, we were talking about Chasing 40. That was another question, by the way, actually. We got asked quite a bit. Why the name Chasing 40? Should we talk about that now? Why the name Chasing 40? Because this is something Beck ruined, by the way. There's many...
it wasn't me, technically. It's you and your thickness.
I got it wrong after a few pints of Guinness. There's many, many reasons why this show is called Chasing 40, and I'd like to describe it when a lot of people were asking me through the week, well, why? I give a couple of examples, but I was explaining it as... Look at the David Bowie album, Black Star, his final one. He left it with loads of surprises. There are many sort of things you can find on that disc, and there's many things hidden away, which if you look at it in a certain shade, more stars will appear. Do you know all about this, by the way? Or just totally...
no.
I thought you were looking at me like, what? Are you making this up?
It was more your hand movements that were confusing
there's
me.
many, many reasons as to why it's called Chasing 40. But the main one was, I had an idea about doing this last year, and me and Beck met up for some drinks at a local pub, and we had 1 drink, 2 drink, 3 drink, 4 drink, 5 drink, 6 drink, 7 drink. So the story goes. But we were talking about getting older, and I'm 26, show me your age.
I don't know how you dare sit there and say that.
And Beck was talking about, I'm nearly, and this was her exact words were, I'm nearly 40 now. Can't believe it. So we both go on this tirade about getting old, and we don't like the idea that we're heading towards 40. And then before Beck went, she said, look, because you went to Jamaica, didn't you, for over Christmas? She said, I'm going to celebrate my birthday over there. And when I come back, we agreed that we were going to get together and do some stuff. So I thought, you know what a great name that would be, because Beck's about to turn 40. So she's 40, I'm not far off 40, so I'll be chasing 40. I'll be chasing the 40-year-old. What a great name, I love that. So Beck goes on holiday, and she's in Jamaica, and I was already annoyed with her being in Jamaica, because she'd send me pictures of her at poolside drinking pina coladas and all sorts of... In fact, it wasn't pina coladas. What were the name of these obscene drinks she was drinking?
There was all kinds, but the favourite one was the pink pussies.
What's going on in this world, eh? Billy Butland wouldn't like that, would he? No,
Billy Butland would have loved a pink pussy, let me tell you.
And Peter Ponton, if that's their real names. Harry Haven, I don't know. I'm making it up now.
Colin Centerpot, no.
So she's sending all these pictures of all these great things and these escapades she's getting up to over in Jamaica. But the one that troubled me the most, which really pushed me over the edge, was when she said, I can't believe I'm 39. What? You're supposed to be 40? At this point, we've got logos made. We've got things copyrighted. We've got everything figured out. We've got a whole plan. And she tells me she's 39. So I had to go back to the drawing board and come up with a few more things. So I digress. I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there, but that was one of the things we got a lot of questions about through the week. But yeah, talking about getting and staying relevant for me, which I'm just struggling with at the moment. So I'll freely admit that. Now,
just at the moment.
All right.
You've never been relevant, Jeff.
Maybe around about 2005, it started to get a little bit rocky.
You're relevant on catch-up.
But this is the way I looked at it, right? I was, from the age of 15 to the age of 30, my full-time job was radio. Yeah. I worked in the radio business like Beck did. I got up every single morning, I wrote a breakfast show, I presented the breakfast show, I'd then go and produce bits and bobs, and it was all about consuming every bit of media that is out there. So every day I'd come in, I'd read all the papers, I'd have stuff sent to me, I'd be watching TV to see what's going on. Now, the minute I stopped having to do that as a job, because that was what I was paid to do, I just thought, that's it, I'm finished, I'm out of here. And for the next 5 years, only when I had to, when I do, because I was still involved with the business, but not as intense as I used to be. I just decided to withdraw totally. I stopped reading newspapers. I stopped watching TV. And Beck will vouch for me on this one. I do not watch TV at all.
True.
I don't read any papers, magazines. I just withdrew from show business totally. Stopped listening to the radio. So I'm stuck. I was stuck around about 2010. Now, when these things pop up, when I will have to go and do a show or have to present something, I have to try and get down with the kids. And like now, try and get down with the kids, as if all the kids are listening here now. In fact, I've just ruined this whole story, haven't I? I've proved I'm not relevant by saying down with the kids. And what Beck was so kind not to do there, to point out that I actually did a hand gesture, which was like something from Donnie Wahlberg when he was in his little, New Kids on the Block?
Yeah, it's like the reverse rock and roll sign upside down with a little flick of the wrist.
So, yeah, I need to, when I do come out of my little cave of irrelevance, I need to get down with the kids, and I need to say something which strikes a chord with them. And I thought this week would be a great one with the Brits. I'll watch the Brits, that'll be a good one. We'll move on to that in a minute, because I'll see what's going on, and we can talk about it on the show this week. But there was 2 meetings that I took, and in each meeting there was about 13, 14 people. Yeah. And I won't go into the boring logistics of what the meeting was, Thankfully. But I thought I need to give them something to let them know I'm back here and I'm passionate about what I'm talking about and deliver this message. So it was all about, I'd been away for a while and I hadn't seen these people for about 6 or 7 months. So my line was, I thought this would be a great one, they're going to love this one. I said the message, I delivered it. I said, this is a difficult message, it's a difficult communication, but I think you'll all understand. And this is why it's done, this is why it's happening, this is what we're going to do. And I know you're all looking at everyone at this point, because it's a difficult message I'm delivering. There's a lot of people gawping at me, mouths are open, and not because they're going, wow, look at him, he's a megastar. They're like, what's he just said? I thought, I know you're looking at me, and I know you're all thinking it's easy for you to strut back in here like John Travolta and say this. Right, 13 people, 2 of them are over 50. They both laughed hysterically. The rest of them just look at me. I'm going, oh, you need to get out of this one. I need to say something quick. So I said, oh, yeah, I realise there's a lot of people there going, I don't even know what that is. Not really relevant to you. I tell you what, I'll put it another way. A bit like I walk back in here, like Michael Jackson, moonwalking me way in. About 3 more of them laugh. The other ones, the younger ones, are going, Michael Jackson moonwalk? What you on about? I'm thinking, and I looked at some lad who I know and went, give me something. And he made this like zombie like gesture to me. He was at the side and just said the word Drake. Now, I don't know who Drake is. At this point I don't know who Drake is. I now know he's is he a rapper or a singer or something?
Yeah, he did. Didn't he do Hotline Bling? Something really.
Why are you asking me?
I'm older than you and I'm cooler than you.
Hotline Bling. Is that
Hotline
a song?
Bling, yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Honestly, it's brilliant. It is a modern day classic.
Go on, sing me a bit of it.
I can't remember.
Hotline Bling. Is it like, Hey Jude or something?
No.
Na. Hotline Bling.
No, it's a lot more gangster.
All right. Motherfucking Hotline Bling. Na. Sorry, it is marked explicit, so it shouldn't be a shock that you're going to get the odd F-bomb. So I just start doing this like zombie movements and go, oh, I dance back in here like Drake, and then the rest of them laughed. And I just went, I've got to get out of here. So there was someone with me. I just handed over to her and said, there you go, and walked out the room.
Like a zombie, or like Michael Jackson, or like John Travolta.
A bit of both. It was a bit of a mismatch. Thought I'd do a tribute to them all, so I started with the Drake zombie, moved on to the moonwalk, and then did the Travolta strut and grabbed someone's pizza. And I was on my way out. Oh yeah, that was on the Tuesday. So I thought, oh no, what's going on? I need to, because we're doing a show now. I've got to be relevant. I need to know what's going on in this world. So later on in the week, I thought I'm going to try a different approach, because these were even younger. These ones that were in there. And I needed to get. I thought, what I'm going to do is, before I get into this difficult message, I'll bond with them and I'll ask them about what they like. So we get chatting, and I'm talking to one guy, and he was telling me. I'm sure we'll cover this on many shows going forward. The rapper KRS-One, is it, or K?
No, you've got me there.
He's going to kill me if he's listening to this. Very famous rapper. Please, someone correct me, and I'll put it in the fake news section for next week.
KLF?
No, not KLF. KRS-One or KWS? Anyway, he's doing some rap exhibition. Some guy I know, he's doing a rap exhibition. It's going to be touring the UK. It currently is touring the UK. And he's hoping to make it a home in Liverpool. It's going to be the history of hip-hop, right? Apologies to Mr. K. I'm just going to call you that for now. So we're having that chat, and I can see that he is pinging up some of these kids going, oh, he's hip-hop. And I thought they liked the hip-hop. So we go in the room, and straight away one of them says, oh, before we start, I didn't know, Jeff, you were into your hip-hop. I went, oh, yeah, I'm well into my hip-hop. Oh. I go all the way back to Kool Herc. So you don't know Kool Herc, do you? I thought you'd have at least known that.
Herc?
You've never heard of Kool Herc?
No.
Kool Herc was the guy who invented hip-hop. He had the biggest speakers in the block.
Really?
You mean?
No. I got no idea who you're talking about.
Kool Herc, you need to...
I will Google it.
Everyone stop this right now. Okay, pause. Google Kool Herc. Right, have you done it? You're back. I'd love to Google it in here, Beck, in this room, but we don't have internet connection in your flat, do we?
It's a cave.
Yeah, in the cave.
Bin Laden would have been happy here.
Kool Herc was the guy who's credited with inventing hip-hop. Okay. He created it. He'd have street parties, and I think it was in the Bronx, but he had... I've seen documentaries on this, because I do watch documentaries, by the way. I'm relevant when it comes to the past, but not the future. But he had the biggest speakers, and he had all these parties, and off the back of that, all the sort of a lot of the rap groups formed, and it was down to Kool Herc.
Okay, Kool Herc.
You need to honestly check out Kool Herc.
I will.
Oh God, you know what I mean? She's saying to me, "Oh, you're not down with the kids, and you don't know who Drake is, and she doesn't know who Kool Herc is." What's going on, eh?
Can I order his DVD off Amazon?
So yeah, it's been a challenging week for me, and watching the Brits, and we briefly chatted about this before we started the show today. I thought that would help. What the blooming hell is going on? And when I used to watch the Brits in the 90s, yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched that as well. Right, pop music never got a look in. In fact, if I remember correctly, they had to create an award to get pop music involved in it, because it was all what I would class as serious musicians. Little Mix were winning stuff with it. It seemed to me all pop music, and there's a music style called grime, which I'm not that familiar with either. But he was good, that guy who did the grime. Don't ask me his name, I just know he was good. I liked it, I was impressed by that.
Every year I watch the Brits, and every year it just makes me feel older and older because I never know any of them.
Well, the house fell off the stage. Did you see that?
No.
You didn't see the house fall off the stage?
No, I didn't see it all.
Katy Perry, right? She gets political, and she does a performance of her new song, and she has these big skeletons come on the stage holding hands, and they're supposed to represent Theresa May and Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
Right, and they're dressed exactly like they were when they had that meeting where they were holding hands. And then, while this is all going on, a load of people come on stage, a load of dancers come on stage, dressed as houses.
Okay.
Like, they literally are, they're just legs with giant house things that they put over them. And while she's singing, one of the houses, because it must be difficult to dance and see where you're going if you've got a big house costume on, fell off the stage.
Oh.
But it was so pathetic, because you didn't see it as much on the TV when it was on the coverage on ITV, but everyone filming it from their smartphones and stuff, and there's a cracker angle where you just see this house fall off the stage, and you can tell the person is just, well, I'm humiliated now. They just lie there. You see his legs waddling. But big shout out to my mate Chris, who said to me, and a great point, can you imagine the day when that person got that phone call, got some, because I'm guessing they've got agents, they've got casting agencies they work for, got some great news for you, Karen, got a big job for you, how would you like to perform at the Brits? Oh, I'd love to perform at the Brits. What am I going to be doing? Well, you're going to be dancing, of course, because that's your trade. You're going to be performing with, Katy Perry, don't you? Katy Perry, I'm going to be on stage with Katy Perry. Yeah, you are going to be on stage. It's going to be a big controversial number. It's going to get loads of press coverage, and you're going to be there dancing on the stage. Oh, I'm going to tell everyone, I can't wait for my mum and dad and my family to see me. They're going to be so proud. Just one thing, you're going to be dressed as a house. No one will see your face. What? Fascinating debate we've just been having then over a cup of tea about whether or not Eagle Eye Cherry is actually dead.
I'm sure he is.
No, I'm telling you he's not.
Really?
No, he definitely isn't.
Okay.
I would, if a celebrity dies, I know straight away.
Is there a Cherry who's dead?
I'm guessing there probably is. Don Cherry, maybe the dad. That was his name. Oh, here we go. We're gonna like with Kool Herc, we're gonna have to give a bit of a history lesson. Don Cherry was, I'm sure, he was a very famous musician. I think it was jazz, that was his genre. So Don Cherry had Nana, right? Oh. And then he had Eagle too. And I don't know whether that's his actual name that he was given at birth, but I'm sure Eagle Eye Cherry is Nana Cherry's half brother, and it's from another marriage that Don had. But maybe Don is... We'll figure it out next week. Okay. We'll put it on... I think we're going to have a regular feature on the show now, which is going to be fake news. So every time we cock something up and you let us know, we'll put it on the fake news. I know you're really keen to show me this picture or whatever it is, because you've been holding lovingly your phone for the past 25, 30 minutes.
You'll see why.
I'll show you in a minute. But before we actually get onto that, I've got to say a big thank you to everyone for the response to last week's show. Absolutely blew us away. We've had so many lovely comments. By the way, if you do want to get in touch with us, we'll give you all the details before we finish up today. But some of the places with regards to where we know you guys are listening, because I've become a bit of a tech geek, by the way, through the week.
Really?
Because there's a little feature on all the various platforms that we're on called Analytics. Have you ever heard of Analytics, Bec?
I have.
Yes, I thought you would have, because you're not stupid. But anyway.
Thank you. Best thing you've ever said.
But we're available on iTunes. You can subscribe to us there. We've had loads of subscriptions and loads of downloads there. You can listen to us on SoundCloud or YouTube, so whatever floats your boat. But I know we've got people listening, of course, in the UK. Blooming obvious there. Canada, so hello to all the people in Canada, over in America, which I'm quite surprised. I'll be quite surprised, actually, if they're still listening after us lambasting their president once again on this show. But hello to all yous over in the States, Australia, and also Norway.
Wow.
We're relevant in Norway.
Who'd have known?
So, yeah, thank you very much for supporting Chasing 40. And keep that support, keep the likes, keep the downloads, keep the subscriptions coming for us, and you'll help the show. But go on, right, what is this? Is this to do with our friends that I've just sort of referenced slightly there?
It is, yeah. So if we can go over the pond to America and revisit Trump, that'd be lovely. I found out this week that my nephew is obsessed with him. So you can actually have a semi-political conversation with my 8-year-old nephew.
Right.
He knows all about him. he can waffle off a whole stream of things that he's done and that he said. And I was like, wow, my nephew's really intelligent. But actually, when you boil it down, I found out why he's so obsessed with him.
Go on.
It's his name. Imagine being 8 and getting away with saying the word Trump in every sentence.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It's the best thing. So you can sit there having your dinner and you're basically talking about farting and not getting told off of your mum or your nan.
Yeah, well, that's sort of what he's doing when he speaks, so it works.
But I don't know if you saw this. It was on the Poke this week. Former Walt Disney sculptor Chuck Williams has gone to Kickstarter, which is like a crowdfunding app.
Right, okay.
Because he wants to mass produce some new troll dolls. Do you remember the little trolls from the 80s? Little plastic things with big hair?
No, trolls are relevant again now, because I'm having a little girl. There was a troll movie which was out not so long ago, and she's obsessed with it. So I've got a couple of trolls loitering around my house at the moment.
You might not want to get her this one, though.
This is going to be great.
Are you ready? Because you haven't seen this at all, have you? This is the Trump troll doll.
Oh my... You know what's worse about that? That is horrible. I just want to describe it.
Go on.
It's Donald Trump's horrible, ugly face. He's got a little bit more hair. He's got the comb over on the go, the troll, because obviously the trolls have got the longish hair, haven't they? Like the whooshy hair. But he's naked.
Look at his stature!
Oh!
Look at his Trump stature!
Why did you show me that?
Look, there it is zoomed in a little bit more.
Oh!
You don't need to know how long I've spent looking at this.
I think long is not the word you want to be using there.
It is the most grotesque thing in the world. But yeah, I can't get away from looking at it.
Right, we were talking before, weren't we, about when you're listening, and it could be anywhere. Obviously, the show goes out on a Sunday night. If it's round about dinner time now, and you're about to eat, do not look for that. What's it on?
It's from the Poke.
The Poke.
Yeah, but I'm wondering. Look at his little bum.
I've got to
Has he
go.
got a cute bum.
I've got to go home and watch Trolls with my little girl. I can't.
Do you still get them where you shove them on top of a pencil?
Can you get his little troll penis out my face?
No, look, kiss it.
No. Take it away.
There you go, I've hidden it.
You know, I had something to show you, which was to do with which I can't because we haven't got internet access in this place, have we? But there's another thing which I saw through the week, and it's similar to that little tiny weeny Donald Trump. Someone, I think it's a bit of a movement they've got at the moment because they're trying anything, can't they, to wind him up?
Yeah.
Which isn't hard, let's be honest about it. And there's a website which has got a load of pictures where they're collecting, where people are photoshopping Donald Trump and they're turning him into little tiny Donald Trump. So all the things that he's doing that week, they're just minimising him to a little dude, and it's cracker. We'll get I don't even...
You keep looking at it.
Because it's...
I'm just going to set it there, look. We can just...
No, please move it.
Okay. There you go. He's gone. Bye, Donald.
See, when you move it away, my eyes follow it instantly. You're trying to hypnotise me with the little thing.
Look into the eyes, not around the eyes.
If the Poke goes offline at some point this week, I know why, because it's going to be Trump and the Trump administration going. Because that would, if Comments and Alec Baldwin do an impression of him, wind him up and push him over the edge, I wouldn't be surprised if a bomb gets dropped on their office over that one.
I know.
Well, that's obscene. I was going to say, I don't know, can we put it on Twitter? Yeah, there's worse on there. Well,
it's not like I'm going to need a massive emoji to pit over his tag, is it? So,
I tell you what, actually,
we'll censor it.
Yeah, we'll put it on if you check out through the week at 20_29_9. Don't worry, we're gonna get an easier one for you soon. That's just the site that hosts the show, and we'll put it on there at some point this week. If you're thinking to yourself now, Jeff, you said that too quickly, I can't write it down. Just remember at 29Nolan. That's my Twitter address, and you can find the details for that on there. But we'll do it all again at the end of the show. I've just had a nice cup of tea as well there.
That's quite all right.
You made me feel really, really sick.
I'm sorry, but if I have to see these things, then you have to see them. Sharing is caring.
I'm umming and ahhing now whether or not because there was one other thing I wanted to discuss with you, but it's of a similar sort of ilk.
Really? Can it beat a troll Trump tadger?
It might do. Right. God, I'm really sorry about the end of this week's show, especially with what I'm going to talk about now. Right, okay, EastEnders has been in the papers quite a bit this week because of Danny Dyer. Do you watch EastEnders?
I'm obsessed
with it. Why is he like... Again, I don't watch it, but I see all the coverage which pops up on Twitter and all the feeds and stuff. Is he like the big main star of that now?
Yeah, they brought him in, and I think it's something that he's been in every single episode. And last year they had to send him off like 6 weeks off or something because he was overtired or whatever. But obviously there's been a few issues with him, and he's fallen off the wagon. There's been pictures of him and all kinds. But he's a proper geezer.
The way when I'm reading these things about him, how he's the main star and it's such a loss to the cast, they're describing him like he's Laurence Olivier. Like you just said then, the word geezer.
He is. He's just brilliant. I can't imagine Albert Square without him.
A mutual friend of ours was in a film with Danny Dyer when he was a young... And this is, I always laugh now when I think about him ending up in EastEnders. He was in a film called Human Traffic. Do you ever remember that?
Yeah.
In the late 90s. Danny Dyer was one of the main parts in it. The friend that I speak of was playing the part of, I think he was a club DJ. He was working with Tony DeVitt. They were DJs in a club, and his scene, which was really annoying for Chris, was cut from the film. And back then, when the DVDs come out, they didn't have any extras on. So normally, you get the deleted extras, they'd be on there. It was just literally the film on DVD. So I'm sure when it comes to the anniversary of it anyway, it might make it on there. But I always remember when he was on the set, he'd tell me about when they were filming it, and Danny Dyer was on that, and he was only young. He was about 14, 15, and he used to wind them up saying, "You're like a mini Beppe from EastEnders." With your voice, and you'll be on EastEnders. That's where you need to go. You need to be on EastEnders, and he'd get really upset about it. He'd be really wound up that he was getting compared to Beppe. And ironically, you look at it all these years on, he has become the main star. But that's been dominating. So we've seen loads of stuff about Danny Dyer in the papers this week. There's one story which has never made the papers, and I'm shocked about this. And the only reason I found out about it was I was listening to a friend of mine, Neil Quigley, his podcast, What He Does Weekly, and he was recapping a moment when he met June Brown, because she turned 90 didn't she, this week. I'll play the clip to you, and then I will challenge anyone to be able to watch EastEnders and look at, bear in mind, 90-year-old Dot Cotton and think of her in the same way, because she's lovable Dot who works in the laundrette.
Yes, and she just had such a tough time this week.
Listen to this.
The actress June Brown was 90 years old this week, famous for playing Dot Cotton in EastEnders. She was a guest on Desert Island Disc as well, playing some great tunes from her past. I was lucky enough to once meet her. It was at T4 on the beach down at Weston-super-Mare. I had a backstage pass and I was enjoying the show, and I was working for a radio station down there, so just getting some interviews, and I bumped into June, and she was more than happy to chat. So I'm not saying she'd been taking advantage of the complimentary drinks that were on offer, but the conversation we had, we talked about the weather because it was a lovely scorching hot day, and she told me that she had a friend who lived down in Somerset near Weston-super-Mare, and she spent a lot of time down there with her, which is all great. I thought, that's fine. She goes, yeah, we like to go into the garden. She's got very high walls around her garden, so we like to sunbathe naked there.
Spaniel's ears. Why have you done that? I can't look at her in a tweed coat again.
That's legit. That happened. And I straight away when I heard that, I got on the phone to him. I was like, why have you not told me this before? Well, I don't know. Where's it going to come out in conversation? I'm like,
You get that into a conversation. June Brown naked.
Right, we've made ourselves ill. We've probably made you ill with the end of this show, and we're running out of time. So what we'll do is we'll bid you I think we've done nothing to aid our cause, have we?
No.
Of making ourselves relevant. So Staying Relevant was the title of the episode. Maybe Staying Relevant Part 2. We'll do that next week. Look, have yourself a great week. Remember, once again, to subscribe to us. You can find us on YouTube on Channel 29. Just search Chasing 40 Podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud. Same thing. Search Chasing 40 Podcast. You'll find all the links on the Twitter feeds. Wherever you're listening in right now, because if you're on iTunes, if you're on YouTube, if you're on SoundCloud, if you just go into the description, you'll find all the links for the Twitter and everything, ways to get in touch with us. So I won't bore you by giving all them out again. But the most important thing, if you do go on iTunes, by the way, because it really helps the show, just give us a 5-star rating. Don't give us if you're thinking of doing a 4-star, 3-star one, I'm not bothered about that. Leave it, okay? Just go about your business. Give us a few more weeks and then maybe come back and reconsider. You can leave us a 5-star rating, that'd be fantastic. Look, have yourself a great week. We'll see you next time.